Kenny surprised me this morning. Me and my electrician were wiring up the breaker box, and we got that done. Thank God, he was so helpful. And then Kenny showed up and it was raining, and I was like, we're not gonna paint today like we thought. And then, as Kenny called me, the rain went away and he's like, it's dry. And then we painted the whole house, 2 coats, plus all the trim. Not bad for a couple of white guys. All right, so I was talking to a friend of mine last night. She reminded me of a story. She is about to do something that is a big deal to her, and it's a big deal to anybody. She's doing some stuff with some A-list actors and so on and so forth, and was like, I don't know, this is kind of out of my league, and what kind of advice do you have for me? I've got advice for her. I gave it to her. She felt better, and now it's for you too. So when I was 18 years old, I got a job at a sawmill up in Washington State. Keep in mind, I couldn't drive a car yet, right? I built my first house before I could drive a car, because I'm stupid. Because I didn't want to buy anything I couldn't pay cash for, so I waited till I could afford to buy a car, and then I bought it. Anyway, so I get a job at a sawmill, and I show up, and I'm like, man, this is a huge place. I don't understand any of this stuff. I'm very young, I'm very naive and stupid, inexperienced. There's some loud people. And then they say, you're a pretty smart guy. We want to train you how to do every job in the sawmill, and you can be a floater. Let's start with forklift. I'm like, oh. So I don't know how many of you guys have driven forklifts before, but there's a gas pedal and there's a brake, and then there's a clutch brake. And the clutch brake, you push in the clutch brake when you want to hit the gas, but just like raise the forks up or whatever, or tilt them or whatever you want to side shift. So on this particular forklift, we had to go across 30 sets of railroad tracks with unbanded lumber, and then lift it up, and then we push on the clutch brake and then lift it, then and you let off the clutch brake, and the whole forklift would go run, 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 and just like seize all over the place. Then I had to go back up across 30 sets of railroad tracks, and then come back around, and then raise all the way up, not an inch lower, but all the way up, come in, lower down, side shift over. I had like 2 inches on either side, side shift over, and then land between 2 rolls, and then it would go off to the stacker, and it would get stacked over there. And so this guy that was teaching me, his name was Heck, short for Hector. Now Heck had ridden in the rodeo a lot. He was young too, and he got kicked in the head by a bull, and so he had kind of this look on his face, and he dipped. So he was like, and he was not a good teacher at all. And he's just like yelling at me all the time. You're so dumb. How can you be so dumb? Just do it this way, idiot. Stuff like that. I went home. I had dreams that night about moving stuff around in my bedroom with the forklift and trying to get it through the door. And the door is only, 30 inches wide. And then I was like, I should give up. That's what I should do. This is beyond my realm of expertise. I should give up and be just a laborer and an idiot for the rest of my life. I don't know what in the world I'm doing thinking about I could do this. And I show up to work like, well, I said I'd be here, so I'm going to be here. And as I walk in the door, here's Heck. And I'm like, it just dawned on me, like, wait a minute. Heck can do this. If Heck can do it, I can do it. I am not going to be outdone by this clown. And so I learned how to drive forklift, and I learned how to do everything else in the sawmill. And every time since then that I've been like, man, I'm outside of my comfort zone. This is too big for me. I'm a dropout, an idiot, and all, which is all true. I look around in this industry and I'm like, where is Heck? It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Where's Heck? And I look around, I'm like, there he is, dumb as a rock, got this look. And I'm like, if that dude can do it, I can do it. I am not going to be outdone by him. And so my word of advice to you and to my other friend is, when you start a new job and you're like, how could I possibly do this job? It's so hard. Look around, and Heck is around there, and somehow he's made it there. And somebody has to be the dumbest person, the least experienced person, the person that everybody hates on the job. And don't be that guy or girl. But if they can do it, you can do it. All right, so that's my encouragement. I'm gonna go see my friend Chris Osborne play tonight, Saving Yesterday in Burleson. So if you guys wanna come out there and say hi to me, then that's where I'm gonna be. The house looks beautiful. We're so excited. We're almost ready for inspection for a dry-in, and then after that it's going to go really quick. We're going to do spray foam installation, sheetrock, tape bed, texture paint, and then cabinets, floors, and we're going to be done. So, and we're going to put a deck on this probably on Monday or Tuesday up on the front, which is going to be super beautiful. So anyway, love you guys, have a great day. Bye. Good morning and happy Monday to you. So I realize I've been pretty slack about making videos, and I'm sorry. We've been doing things that are illegal, so I can't show you. Just kidding. Anyway, so we're gonna build a deck this morning, and that's gonna be one of the things that we do today. So we're gonna come out here, it's 40 feet by 6 feet. We're gonna make a deck and then put a little rail around there. I think it's gonna make a nice accent. We'll probably stain that like a dark color. So we're excited about doing that. And I'll probably show you step by step-ish how we get that done. So I've got a challenge for you guys this week, and that is I want you to try to do something nice for somebody, but, and hear me out on this, try not to get caught. Okay, that's not like, hey, I did something nice and I showed everybody, like, hey, look at me giving homeless people money. Don't do that. Don't be like, hey, I did something nice for you and I told you and everybody else and I got a bunch of credit for it. Don't do that. Just do something nice for somebody quietly and hope that they don't catch you doing that, and see how much better your week is. So yeah, that's my challenge for you. Also, I want you to think about this, and this is very important. If you wait for your waiter, you become a waiter. Think about that. Speaking of waiters, my waiter slammed my food down. He's like, you got served. So, step number 8. First, we got to anchor, in this particular case, we're going to anchor into this concrete all the way around and get a board that's going to take half the weight. So, the way that we do that, this is called a hammer drill. This is a Bulldog. This thing's about 250 bucks. These bits last forever, for years. You can just drill and drill and drill and drill. So, it's got just a drill setting, or just a hammer, like if you want a chipping hammer, or a hammer drill, and so that it spins and it hammers at the same time. So I'll show you. I pre-drilled that so you wouldn't have to listen to the whole thing because it's horrible. All right, then we put these anchors in. They're 4 inches long, they're sleeve anchors, and when you hammer them in, then these things expand and they're tight. So right now, well, can't really tell, but that has some movement to it. But once we take this thing and anchor it in, that thing sucks right up, right? So that's what you want. Now we're gonna dig some holes, and then we're gonna have our post for our rail all the way around, and it's gonna be amazing. I don't know, what do you think? Yeah, we probably do need a rail. Have you guys ever noticed how many towns are named after their water towers? Like, you look and you're like, that water tower says Kennedale, and you're like, and they named the town Kennedale after the water tower. That's weird. A lot of you guys were named after me. Anybody that's younger than 47 was definitely named after me. All right, so obviously we anchored in, we've dug these in 3 feet into the ground, and then we built this structure, and they're on 16-inch centers. So then we're gonna put our top pieces on, and we're using 5/4 on this, which means it's 1 1/4 inch before it's planed, and that's 1 inch after it's planed. So 2x6s are actually, they start off 2 inches, and then they're planed down, they're 1.5 inches wide. So that's pretty interesting. It's all pressure treated, which matters. Pressure treated means that they have this stuff, I don't know what it is, copper something, copper oxide, I'm making that up. And they, with pressure, like inject all that in there and saturate the wood, and so it's guaranteed for life against rot and decay. And anywhere that you cut and you look inside the wood, it's all green all the way through. So that's pretty interesting, and then bugs won't eat it and it won't rot. So beautiful stuff. Anyway, pretty soon we're gonna have this, we're gonna cut all these rails off. They all look different sizes right now, but we went higher than we need to everywhere. And then we're gonna chalk a line, and we'll cut all those off and then get all that to the same size. So this should look pretty beautiful. All right, guys. You guys wanna hear a construction joke? Sorry, I'm still working on it. All right, so as you can tell, we put the tops on here, which is really great. We need to go get materials for the rail and for the bottom of the skirt and for the step, and that's gonna really finish it out. Obviously, we're gonna get some stain too. We're probably not gonna stain it today because the sun doesn't have much more time until it goes away, because it's still winter time here in Texas. I want to talk about the fact that nobody likes a winner who gloats, and nobody likes a sore loser. So no matter how you fight, no matter how you play the game, no matter whether or not you win or lose, make sure that you do it with humility and grace, and don't make a big scene. Because if you lose and you're like, oh, boo-hoo, this is everybody else's fault except for mine, not helpful. Nobody likes that. Also, I feel like this person wants to talk to me. Maybe they just want to stare. It's probably a drive-by compliment. We get a lot of drive-by compliments. So what that means is we've had people on this house that drive by, they slow down, and then out their window they yell, you're doing a really great job on that house. And then they keep driving. Or we had somebody else who were like, you're putting that house up really quick. And we're like, thank you very much. This also happened, I don't know, like a decade ago or something like that. Yeah, it was about a decade ago. We were working in Watauga, and there's a house that burned down. And so same thing, they slowed down at the corner, and we're like, uh-oh. And then they rolled down their window, and they're like, you're doing a great job on that house. And then they kept driving. I'm like, thank you, I think. Anyway, so nobody likes a sore loser. Nobody likes a winner that gloats. Don't make a big thing out of it. Tomorrow you could be the winner. Tomorrow you could be the loser. Just be nice. Just be nice to people. It's not that hard. So anyway, we're going to go some rail and stuff like that, and we'll be back. So we on purpose did not finish last night because it started getting dark, and I wanted to kind of show you something I thought was cool. So as you can see over here, we've got most of the deck done, minus just this little bit here. So we got the thing skirted, we got the little rail going on and everything. But I thought this was pretty cool. So you always want to have a template. A template makes things easier for you, right? So we found that we got a 4x4 up here and a 4x4 on the bottom. Put these boards in. Now shoot it, and then we do the next one, right? So makes oops. I didn't shoot very good. We'll do the next one. Normally, I have my helper hold this other board. It makes my life a lot easier. But right now, my helper's holding the camera, so that makes it a lot harder. So that's how that looks, and it really makes it go quick, and it finishes it off nicely. I have to cut some more here in a second to finish this thing off. Thought you guys would like that. All right, so and it looks like they were made for each other. So I was thinking about other things that were made for each other, and one of the things I've heard about, I haven't seen it in real life, is there's a certain kind of hummingbird, and this hummingbird has a special kind of beak that's long and kind of curved, and the only kind of flower that hummingbird can get nectar from is this specific flower that has a flower that's made that way, and no other bird can get in there and get that nectar, and no other. So the hummingbird is made for the flower, and the flower is made for the hummingbird. And I just think that's pretty cool. So they're both very rare, but when they find each other, obviously, I mean, you know, the hummingbird is finding the flower, but then it helps to pollinate that, which then lets there be more hummingbirds. So I thought that was pretty cool. So something else I think is cool, and maybe it's a mystery for you guys, is that every one of us has a hole inside of us, like a hole inside of our heart. And we're all yearning to get that hole filled. We're like, what is it that's missing inside my heart? What is it that makes me feel like this? And so all of us try to fill that hole with all kinds of things. We put drugs in there, we drink, we try to make more money, we try to work harder, we try to have sex with everybody that we can. And nothing seems to fill that hole. In fact, it seems like the more that we put those things in the hole, the bigger the hole gets. And that's because that hole is a God-shaped hole. And the reason that hole is there is because we pushed him out in the first place, and he's the only thing that can fill that hole for us. But the good news is that he's never more than an arm's length away, because we're the only ones that can push him out. So invite Jesus back into your heart and get your life right and find yourself happy again. All right, guys. We're here building today. We got all the trim paint done on deck. I'm staying on the deck. Today we got a green tag. But Trey Snyder's here with Amen Gutters. And tell me, these are seamless gutters, right?
These are seamless 5-inch OG gutters.
What is it?
Yeah, it looks better when it's going.
Yeah, like a snake. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, and then if somebody wants to get in touch with you, then you do gutters for everybody, right?
214-641-5021. Amen Gutter Systems. Gutter that lasts until Jesus comes back.
Which
I'm out of the gutter business when he comes back.
That may be sooner than later. All right, let me know. So, yesterday we got an inspection, and that makes me very happy. I also stained this deck. We got gutters in. That also makes me very happy. So, welcome to my new house. As you can clearly see, you walk in to the living room. There's going to be 4 switches here. They will go to a fan and a light, outside lights, and then we got can lights all in here. We're gonna have, we got a doorbell, obviously. We got outlets all the way around, everywhere. We got outlet up high for a TV set, so you put your TV set up here. Let's see what else. The doorbell's gonna come up in here. This is for me later, so I don't forget where I put my doorbell wire. Then, here's a master bedroom. Pretty good size, 16 by 16. Come on, Lincoln. Here will be a vanity. Here will be another vanity with plenty of room behind it. Then we got a jacuzzi tub. Who doesn't love a jacuzzi tub? We'll have an access panel on the front. Here's a shower where that has 2 shower heads and a bench. It will be beautiful. And in here, a person can make number 1 or number 2. I guess maybe even number 3 or 4 if you want to. Then in here, we have his and her closets. This is 16 feet by 10 feet, so pretty good size. And then if we walk around this way, what else do we see? Oh, let's just say you're over at somebody's house, this house, and then they're like, I need to go to the bathroom. You're like, don't worry, we got a half bath for you. It's got a toilet and a sink. Good enough. Don't take any showers, but you know, whatever. Then we've got our nice kitchen right in here. So this will have fridge, pantry, cabinets, dishwasher, sink, Lazy Susan's stove with that microwave, and then more cabinets, and then counters that come out past over here, granite counters, obviously. And then on the other side of that, you've got room for either a desk or whatever, and then for another desk if you wanted 2 different office spaces and a good-sized dining room. And here, we've got a water heater, washer and dryer, and then a utility room. So there'll be some shelves and rods and things like that in there. And then you've got a bedroom with a walk-in closet, a bedroom with a walk-in closet, and a bedroom with a walk-in closet for 4 bedrooms total. And then another bathroom, there's a tub, shower, toilet and sink, and obviously a garage out here. And that's where the breaker box is out there. And then let's go to the backyard real quick. This is a cool feature. How does this work? Oh, I want to be able to see out my blinds? No, I want to be up with my blinds. I love them. And then back here, we've got a 16 foot by 8 foot back porch with a fan and a light, and a big backyard because it's a half acre. So that's what we've got. And we got gutters up yesterday, and that makes me very super happy. Lincoln, you want to talk about anything funny? Inspiring? What's inspiring you these days?
Money.
Huh? Money?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
No, I mean, is there anything else that inspires you besides money?
God.
At the end of all time, there will only be 3 things that will be remembered. What are they? The discovery of fire, when men walked on the moon, allegedly, and us building this house. That's it. Okay, bye.
All right.
So, we're working on that gazebo pool house, but we stopped by my house to get something that we needed. And Billy Feaster's guys came in yesterday, and spray foamed my whole house. So look at this. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like one great big igloo cooler. And as you can see, like, it's so much warmer. I don't know if you can tell how temperate it is in here, but it is wonderful. And here, come on over here too. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how did they do this with a garage? Well, they just spray foam these walls, and then up in here in the attic, and then I'll show you on the other side. See, then the garage doesn't need to be insulated because that doesn't make sense because you got a garage door. But then this stuff is, and it's 5.5 inches thick, solid spray foam insulation. It is truly amazing. So I could not be happier with Billy Feaster and his people. If you ever need spray foam done, sheetrock tape, bed texture, that's your dude. Hey, so obviously, I don't know if you guys know this, but it snowed here in Texas, and there's a big fat winter storm, and so everybody's pipes are freezing, and everybody's pipes are exploding. So this is one of my neighbor's house, and I won't say who, but it started raining water down through the ceiling, and then I guess it wasn't just water, but it was like iced tea. I don't know if it's sweet or not. I don't know.
It's non-sweet.
Yeah,
I tried it.
This is unsweet iced tea.
Yep, definitely unsweet.
You know, like in Texas, I don't really drink tea that much. I hardly ever. But if you drink tea and then you find out that it's not sweet, and then it'll be like this, like, "Blah!" And then they.
But if you put sugar in it, it's great.
Then it's fine. Yeah, you're just fine. Just dump like all the sugar in there, and then you're like, look, diabetes. All right. So anyway, a lot of you don't know what to do. First of all, you want to drip your faucets. That's super important. You want to leave your cabinet doors open. That's super important. You're probably going to, at this point, it looks like everybody's pipes are freezing anyway. So if they do start to break, then you want to go out to your street and turn the water off. You can call 911. I had another neighbor last night that called 911 and the fire department came and turned it off for her. But anyway, we're going to tear this open and I'll show you kind of like what a frozen pipe looks like when it bursts. So we'll show you that, and hopefully you guys can get some. All right, so we got some of the sealing. Sorry, let's see. Got some of the sealing taken back, and then we found up above here. This is a cold water line right here.
Yep.
And then this over here is the hot water line, right? And so somebody tried to tap into that, which is illegal, and put in a fridge line. Not that I care, but this right here, that little thing, that's what happens. The pipe will freeze and then it bursts the copper and it tears it, and then water comes spraying out of that. So the water's off right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, and then we're going to cut it, and then we're going to put some couplings in and repair that. So that's what we're fitting to do. All right. Okay. So that was the pipe that was burst. You can see where it froze and tore, and that's what it looks like. So that's usually what a frozen pipe looks like, is that it swells and the water swells because it gets frozen, and then it makes a tear in it, and then that obviously water comes spraying out of there like crazy. So we took that out, and then we put on, we cut a bigger piece, and we put a shark pipe fitting here and some PEX and another shark pipe fitting. We turn the water on, and it is leak free, so that's good. And then obviously the sheetrock and everything will have to be repaired, insulate the pipe and stuff. And it turns out there's another leak somewhere else in the house. So sadly, this house has a bunch of leaks. So there, where the blue line is right there, that was our first leak that we found. Then there was one in the ceiling in the living room. We fixed that. Then there was two more in the ceiling in the living room. So we decided to cap off that shower for now so that they could use a different shower until the storm passes. And then we turned it on again. And then this hot water line, oops. This hot water line was burst too. So you can tell that is where that froze and broke. And obviously hot water shouldn't burst as easy, but you know, the power was off for 36 hours out here, so that's a problem. So this thing right here, this red thing, that's called a tubing cutter, and that cuts the copper, and then we put a shark bite on there, and then we put a piece of PEX, and then we put an end cap. And the reason we did it that way is because that's all that we had with us, because we've already been to Home Depot and we're short on supplies. But hopefully this will get them so they're watertight. Okay, so I know it's difficult sometimes if I'm holding the camera, but I want to show you guys. So in this house, there was water pouring down through the ceiling, and so we took some of the ceiling back, and this is what a burst pipe looks like. Okay, so this is copper, and then when water freezes, it expands, and if it's in a contained area, then it will make a tear like that, and then water will come out. So we fixed one, and then we turned the water back on, and then there was another one up over in this other room, and so we fixed that. And then we turned it back on, and there was
another one.
Then there was another two, and so we bypassed the whole thing. We put a cap on it, and the cap looks like this, right? So this is just what they had at Home Depot because they bought everything out. But this will only go on PEX, and so you slide it on. This is what PEX looks like. You slide that on. It's a one-time though, and then you just push it in, and once it pushes in, then it grabs on. It's leak-free. So we had to cap part of that off, and they'll have to deal with that later. And then their hot water line and the other back in the first place was also broken. So there's
hot water line, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it was steam was coming off of it, but because the power was off for 36 hours and it got down to below zero, then it bursted anyway. And hot water lines will cool a lot faster and freeze a lot faster than a cold water line will because it's already losing heat anyway, and so because it's rapidly losing heat, it'll just rapidly lose heat until there's nothing left. I want to show you guys. All my tools are on another job in Wills Point, and look, Nick, thank you so much for being awesome. And while I'm saying thank you to Nick, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Everything froze over. I didn't expect it because I don't watch the news or anything, but everybody has been so nice. I probably had 12 people by now that have been like, hey, if you don't have power, come over to my house. You can crash out here. We'll feed you and everything. And I am just like, so very blessed by that. And I was like, I'm such a jerk, I would never think to do that. And so then instantly anybody else who needed help, I was like, I got power, please come over to my house, you can crash at my house, which still stands. So if you don't have power, by all means come over and I'll share my peanut butter and jelly with you. Okay, so anyway, all my tools are at Wills Point, and so we had to get something at Home Depot, and this was only $125 for all this stuff. Okay, so I got 100 feet of PEX, I got these tubing cutters, and you can get cheaper ones, but I didn't because I like nice stuff. And then I got PEX cutters, and then we got some fittings. So we got shark bite couplings, and then we got these caps. So the way that this works, okay, let's say that your copper is messed up. You want to cut on either side of this. These things have an arrow on them, right? And so there's 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. And you just snap this in there, and then start turning it the direction of the arrow like this. And so it's got like a carbide wheel in there, and it just cuts it right off, and it cuts it clean, and it kind of bevels it on the inside as well. And then a shark bite will just slip right onto that and grab it, okay? And so what you gotta do is you gotta, like, you know, take a length this long, and you put a shark bite coupling on one side and a shark bite coupling on the other side, and then a piece of PEX in the middle. And the way that you cut the PEX is this just has a razor blade in there, and you just kind of, there's an arrow there too. You just put that in and then pinch it and then twist it around. This is a small piece, it's hard to do with a small piece, but that's what we did on this house. I've got some other neighbors that need some help, and so I'm gonna go see what I can do to help them out. I've got 3.
Yeah, check your house first.
Yeah, I've got 3 lines at my house that are frozen right now too, so we're gonna look at that. But everybody stay safe. Let's help each other out in this, and you know, let's learn to like love our neighbors ourselves, because that's important. All right, I hope that helps. All right. All right, so it's a little bit dark in here, but last night we got a call from one of our neighbors, and her pipe burst as well, and so it was very wet and very cold last night, and so we're gonna get up here and find out where this burst pipe is. So there's a copper line that comes across here, and there's another one back there, but sadly all my ladders are on another job far away, so I'm gonna have to climb up here and figure out what the problem is. But just so you guys know, you're not alone in this. Everybody's going through it, and we're gonna make it. Okay, so as you can see right there where that tear is in the pipe, that's where our leak is. So that's we're gonna cut that out, we're gonna fix it, and that'll fix that problem. There's also this problem right down here, which is not great. That's loose wires that are just dangling there next to a bunch of water. You can see there's black on it, so that's not great either. If you got that, then you know, fix it. All right, so this was not easy. We had to, at first this pipe was too big for a 1/2 inch, and then too small for a 3/4 inch. So we had to go way down the line and cut out probably 20 feet or so. But I got this side cut open, and you can tell that's solid ice in there, which is going to be challenging to get that to where we can get anything on there to fix it. So this took a minute. It's a little bit frustrating. So here was the problem that we had. Okay, let me show you. We had to take out a long piece of pipe. The pipe burst right here. You can see it. Come on, close over here, Mr. Camera Operator. Right there is where the pipe burst. Okay, so that's what they look like, and I've showed you guys a couple times. But here's the problem: is that people's phones never stop ringing whenever you can do stuff. So here's a 1/2 inch, and the 1/2 inch you can see won't fit on there, right? And then here's a 3/4 inch, and the 3/4 inch is too big. Right, so we went up and down this thing. It was like, well, what size is this? And so I sent a video to my friend Mike Lowry, who I love. Mike Lowry is an amazing guy. I am not a licensed plumber. I'm doing this as a favor for my friend. And also I did another favor for my friend in the morning, and a lot of times I'll do this in county. Anyway, Mike is a licensed plumber, so if you want somebody that knows what they're doing, then Mike Lowry and Steve Lux are amazing guys. Anyway, I called him up, and he said that this probably got swollen is what it looked like, and so it swole a long way down the pipe. I don't know if you can tell, but way over here I had to cut, and then way down over there I had to cut. So it's probably about 20 feet of pipe that we cut out just so that we could get this one leak fixed. And so this is a Band-Aid on an axe wound in this house, because there's some other issues, but thank God that right now the water's back on and nothing's leaking, so hallelujah.